You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks by geeks.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming out and listening to The Real Short Box. My name is Donald.
My name is Dr. Kevin.
Jared Galante here with you today. Thank you very much for having me.
No problem, Jared. No problem. No problem at all. Hey, Dr. Kevin, good to see you again.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about some things that could be justified here, or unjust, or unjust.
That's right.
Injustice. We're talking about the Injustice Squad. What if we made our own Injustice Squad, Injustice League, out of just DC and Marvel characters? It sounds crazy, I know, but I think we can do it, guys.
It's another dream team, people.
Another dream team. Here we go. Let's do this. Jarrett, hit me.
All right, my team. I actually use some DC people who actually probably have been on the Injustice League, or there's been so many. There's like the Injustice Society, the Injustice League, the Secret Society of Supervillains. First off, I don't really have a leader, because none of these guys. I kind of picture like the Legion of Doom, where they're all just sitting in a circle and everybody's like, "Hey, what are you doing today that's evil? And we're a team now." But first up on my list is Captain Cold, Leonard Snart.
Of course you'd use him. Of course you'd use him.
I don't know what it is, because literally his costume is a parka and like weird John Lennon hippie glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But I like something about it like crept into my little kid brain when I used to watch Challenge of the Super Friends, and Captain Cold was it for me. I was like, that guy is cool. And then reading Jeff Johns' version of Captain Cold and like making him such a three-dimensional character and such an anti-hero, not hero. Like he's definitely not an anti-hero, but like he has a code, which I really like.
Right.
So he's definitely on my team. He's got the cold gun. I'm not going with that new 52 mumbo jumbo of like Iceman powers. I'm keeping him real with his gun.
Makes sense.
Next up, I got Sinestro, another guy who's DC hardcore villain. He's the anti-Green Lantern. I'm going old school too. I'm not doing Sinestro core. I like the purple and black suit, or no, the purple head, the black and blue suit.
Right.
He's got his yellow ring. He can pretty much do everything a Green Lantern does.
Yeah.
So right there, this team is about power, by the way. So let me go back to Captain Cold. You got your connection to the whole rogues, the Flash rogues right there. So
Right.
anytime you need some extra muscle, he can call in the rogues.
Right. They can be sent via Mirror Master.
Sinestro has got, actually I'm gonna rephrase that. Sinestro, he does have the Sinestro core, so he's got that. So we'll definitely go with that. Never mind, I take that all back. He's got the yellow costume on, and he's doing great. But he's got the Sinestro core. Next up, I have the White Queen, Emma Frost. Now I'm going villain Hellfire Club days. She's nearly an Omega level telepath. She's up there. She's like right under Professor Xavier. She's cunning. She's smart. She's going to know how to manipulate the people on the team she needs to get her way. She's got the Hellfire Club behind her, which has got the Inner Circle. We've talked about them in depth. Sebastian Shaw, Donald Pierce, all those guys.
Yeah.
Also the whole cadre of henchmen they have.
Well, now what if these guys all call in their groups, like their friends,
Right.
and then they don't like each other?
It's going to be...
It's gonna get ugly.
It'll be a bloodbath.
It's not going to be fun. No.
No.
So yeah, so I've got so all these people have their groups they can assemble. Next up, I've got the Emerald Empress.
Ooh.
You might have seen her in the Legion of Superheroes. She's a villain. She is her name is Soria of the planet Venegar. She was recruited by Superboy in the Legion to combat the menace of the Sun Eater once. The Sun Eaters was defeated. She joined the Fatal Five, so that's her team that she could call upon with The Rock, Validus, Mono, and the Persuader. She's got this giant eye that's got energy powers, I
just thought she was really weird.
super weird. She's got a giant eyeball that follows her, but it's super powerful. And I just kind of also just liked her next to the White Queen. I just thought the White Queen and the Emerald Empress would look really cool.
You know what would be total bullshit is if she had that giant eye and that giant eye was just a big sissy. It's just like, He's crying all the time.
Get him, I. And it was like, no, and just flew away.
I'm tired.
Next up, I have the Silver Samurai.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, now this guy.
He's got a robotic suit.
No, we're not going with the fucking Wolverine movie.
Oh, okay.
That's where they ruined it, man. They ruined it with that.
They did.
Silver Samurai is a cool character. He's been in the X-Men. He was actually, his first appearance was in a Daredevil book randomly. But
What?
he's got connections to the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia.
What?
He's a mutant who can channel energy through his sword and make it pretty much like a cool lightsaber.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Um,
And one of my favorite looks. He's got this giant silver outfit, not a robotic outfit, just a cool Silver Samurai outfit, and I like him.
right.
And he's been an arch nemesis to Wolverine and all that. And that's another guy. I said this guy can call in the whole Yakuza. He's got a whole like crime family. And then we have the Parasite,
Ooh.
Superman villain.
That's an underrated villain, let me tell you.
Completely
Yes.
underrated. And can steal energy from Superman himself. I mean, he can like go toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah.
Suck their power. They had it in the Justice League Unlimited series where they had him where he could actually duplicate their powers too. So he could absorb them, and he was just using everybody's power against them.
Yeah.
So that on his own is a one-man army. He doesn't need friends. He can just do it on his own.
It's true.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
I think I have his first appearance, by the way.
That's Super Action Comics, right?
Yeah,
It's
something
a
like
great. I had a really beat
Yeah.
up copy years ago, but I don't have
Mine's
it.
in decent shape.
Yeah?
The cover is really cool.
Parasite's great. He's
He's
giant purple looking guy.
Yeah.
He's also pretty good in the Spider-Man and Superman, second Spider-Man Superman team up, where they go against Doctor Doom and the Parasite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool
It's
story.
a cool mix. No,
Interesting.
Parasite is a super underrated villain, but he's been around for a long time. And then my last character is very random, but
Hmm.
very cool. And there's a little catch to him.
Okay.
Proteus,
Oh, nice call. Good call.
The son
Good
of-
call.
son of geneticist and former Charles Xavier hump buddy,
Dr.
Moira McTaggart.
McTaggart,
Dr.
yes.
Moira McTaggart. Her son, Proteus, Kevin, was pretty much kept in seclusion his whole life because his power is too dangerous.
What's his name?
Kevin McTaggart?
You know, on the X-Men TV show, he had a nice little accent on the X-Men TV show.
Oh, they gave him that they gave him
the
the Scottish
accent.
accent.
It's like, mother!
Yeah. Yeah. Don't listen to him.
Ruff. Just
Yeah.
the way your mother likes it, Trebek.
Just like Train Spotting and Sean Connery. But Proteus, he's kind of all over the place. He's got telepathic powers. His biggest power, though, is reality warping. If you're in his vicinity, he can make anything happen.
Oh, cool.
By the way, who came first, him or Legion?
Him, by far.
Kind of like Shade the Changing Man.
Exactly. In the X-Men books and one of his first appearances, it's so cool. Like Cyclops shoots his eye beams at him, and he turns. It was such a like an acid trip for Chris Claremont. You could tell. Turns them into roses. Turns his eye
Nice.
beams into flowers. Totally screwed up Wolverine's mind because he just made it feel like he was, and it's showing it, tearing him apart and just putting him back together and just like molding him like clay.
That's a dangerous man.
Totally. But one of his weaknesses is he burns up bodies too much, like too fast. So he lost his own body, and he can possess other people. So he's pretty much like an energy being.
Hmm.
So if he found the antidote to that in if you're reading The Exiles, it was an alternate version of him,
Yeah.
and he possessed Morph's body. Morph's body was kind of immortal and never changing, so he could keep that without burning it out.
Makes sense.
So what I have is my Proteus is possessing the body of the immortal Vandal Savage.
Mmm.
Vandal Savage is not going to die. His body is immortal. So not only do you have him in possession of Vandal Savage, who is a savage,
Right.
brilliant tactician, has been around forever,
Right.
you have the power of Proteus in this body. Reality warping, telepathy, and if he chose to repossess other bodies, but that would be pointless.
Did you ever watch that episode of, I think it was, I don't know if it was a Justice League episode or Superman Adventures or Adventures of Superman, but it's the one where he gets stuck back in the past with Vandal Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good.
Really cool.
So good.
Which is why I was so pumped when I heard that Legends of Tomorrow, the TV show, Vandal Savage was going to be the villain.
No.
And it just died a horrible goddamn death.
Yeah.
It was like
wish
the
they'd
same show every week.
kill that show.
Yeah. And then my alternate is Prometheus, the Justice League villain created by, I've talked about him before.
Right.
Created by Grant Morrison. He's the anti-Batman. And he has a helmet that he can download anything into via Matrix, and just know it. So he knew...
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, in his first appearance, he took down the whole Justice League.
Including Cyborg, who could... Wow.
Everybody. Yeah, he took down all of them. The only reason he lost is because Catwoman was on the Watchtower and she wasn't in his system because she wasn't a Justice League member, and I think she cracked her whip on his balls. Yeah, but he beat Batman in 2 seconds because he knew 30 more fighting styles than Batman did.
Right.
Yeah. So that is my Injustice team. I also call them Jarrett's Injustice team.
There you go. That's very basic.
Very clever name there.
Yeah, it took me 3 hours to do that.
There you go.
What's
Kevin?
yours, Kevin?
I call my team the Injustice Team of Madness.
Really?
Yes.
Jarrett's Injustice team is way
Son
better
of
than
a
that.
bitch.
Oh shit, it was Donald's Injustice Team of Madness?
Mine's Injustice of Sanity.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference between sanity and
Wow.
madness.
Kevin just likes stealing my
You
shit.
guys are a yin and yang right now.
I
That's
know.
pretty
Oh,
crazy.
shame.
This is crazy. All right, hit me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
this is real.
This is
happening right
unprecedented.
now, yeah.
Well, like your team, there's not really any leaders, but technically the person who somewhat takes the lead will be Exodus, the X-Men villain.
Paris.
Movement
Paris
of
the
jet people.
And a good
Okay.
friend of your buddy, Black Knight.
Oh!
That's right, they used to be best buddies.
Yeah, well, a bit of an old fashioned.
So we made that, Apocalypse deal.
Yes. But as you know, Exodus is a pretty powerful mutant, psionic abilities, telepathic abilities,
Omega to the max.
Omega to the max.
Yeah.
And to back him up, I have Brainiac as the brain of the team. Haha. You know,
I don't get that.
he's Brainiac.
I'm not being a smartass. I don't get it, Kevin.
Look, when you have a guy who has a spaceship with abilities, a guy who has a 12th level intelligence, who can mimic Kryptonian superpowers, who has all kinds of powers, projection of tendrils and limbs from his body and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Was he playable in Injustice 2?
Yes.
I know he's
yes, he is.
Did anybody use him? I never used him.
Well, the thing is, you have to beat the game in order to
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
him.
access to him.
That's what it was. We had just been recently playing Injustice 2, and I just realized I'd never
And
saw
you
it.
didn't beat it for me, sir.
No.
Shame on you.
Sorry.
But when you have Brainiac on your team, you can't go wrong there. And then my muscle I have is Cyborg Superman.
Nice.
Interesting.
I know you love yours some Hank Henshaw. don't you?
I do.
And
He's
I-
back how he should be now, thanks to Dan Jurgens.
Yeah. That book looks great, by the way, just what you were showing.
Yeah, what you
Yeah.
showed us, that got me really going there, man. I have to
Got you hard!
I get to the comic shop and grab that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's been Jurgens' run on this Action Comics, this recent one, has been pretty solid. I've been enjoying it very much. Good job, Dan Jurgens.
We love you, Dan Jurgens.
And your lotions. Your whole line of lotions.
Yes,
use
they're
them
great.
aggressively, Dan. I do. I use them aggressively.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sometimes I'll read one of your books, and then I'll get a big handful of that lotion that you make.
Oh, Hank Henshaw.
What an evening.
Oh, an evening.
I'm so glad you're back to Cyborg Superman.
I've ruined so many books.
Yeah, I can't sell that on eBay now. And who's next on your team?
Oh, sorry to interrupt, everyone. Just wanted to mention real quick about a shop in Canoga Park, California called Spiro's Heroes. Elliot, the proprietor of the store, has over 300,000 books in what's called the Temple of Comics. That's Spiro Heroes in Canoga Park, spirosheroes.com.
Next person I have is, in my opinion, an underrated and underused Batman villain, a great manipulator of events, the Riddler.
Yeah.
Oodalottie.
I love the Riddler. I love how he can just confuse you with his riddles, set up a situation. Really a brainy,
I like the Riddler too.
very brainy guy. Now, not like a lunatic Joker type, as which is misinterpreted on the old Batman TV show and from Jim Carrey, but someone who could really move things.
You know,
The animated series.
Animated series, there you go.
everybody in the animated series was like, those are like the pinnacle versions. You know, it was a cool version of the Riddler though.
Which one?
Remember during the right when Bane was introduced, and the Riddler got a hold of the Venom, and he injected himself with it, and he was like this steroid muscle bound Riddler. I was like, that is if you imagine that the Riddler with super strength and his brain. So I was like, oh man.
It's also a cool thing when he used the Lazarus pits.
The Joker used the Lazarus Pit. I remember that. They had that in
Oh, you did?
Legends of the Dark Knight.
Oh, really?
Short story, yeah. And I think it made him. It was called Going Sane, I think,
Made him
or
sane,
something like that. Yeah, it was something crazy.
Because you usually go crazy when you come out of them, and
So the opposite was true for him.
That was a cool run.
The irony. All right, another guy I have on my team is a possessor of bodies, Mr. Amal Farouk, the Shadow King.
It's a good one.
So someone can definitely make you
fat bastard.
So else can make you go mad. And then my wild card is Larfleeze.
That's definitely a wild card. You can't get any more wild. He's going to try to collect them.
I know, but you see...
You should have had him in the collector on there. All they would have done is just kept putting them in little groups. He's mine.
I want to collect them. We will
But the thing
never
is,
fight.
How would he collect the Shadow King, though?
I don't know. Get him in his head and then...
And Brainiac, do you think Brainiac would allow him just to be collected?
Oh, well, I told you about that story, right? In Green Lantern? Like, not too long ago, they found that Brainiac was, like, taking all of all of the planets and cities and stuff, or all the planets, and he was shrinking them. And so the Green Lanterns couldn't figure out, and then they finally figured out it was Brainiac, but it was an old Brainiac unit that Larfleeze brought back to life by using his orange lantern. Brought him back to life, so to speak, so he could use him to go and collect all the planets, because he realized that it's not just about collecting all the stuff. If he could collect the planet that held all the stuff, would be the master collector.
Wow.
So he was running Brainiac, like an older version, like the metal Brainiac body.
Wow.
He was using that. Yeah. It was
so I don't know. Great. I know like very little about Larfleeze.
Well, he's a cool character.
He's an Orange Lantern,
and he's basically like the only one technically. Because basically, I think he kind of like takes possession of like the souls of people, and then they become Orange Lanterns.
He'll kill you, and then he takes your spirit and controls your spirit.
Oh wow!
So he basically makes your spirit a slave, and he's basically which one of the 7 deadly? He's gluttony, right?
Yeah, avarice
or avarice, right?
He wants clay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's a matter of fact. If I can recommend a really good book, the Larfleeze Christmas Special. That's a really good one. I kid you not. It's a really good issue.
I had a lot of fun with that character, and he's a good character to use, actually.
Oh, he sounds
Plus,
great,
he looks like a horse with a goatee or something like that.
Yeah, you need his first
It's really weird.
I got it.
Oh, you did?
It's the first Atrocitus.
Well, there you go.
There you go. You're
Damn, you're set. Yeah. Set for life.
And the last member of my team, I thought I would throw in him because I kind of like him a little bit more than his original conception, is the Hobgoblin.
I love the Hobgoblin.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, Green Goblin's cool, but for some reason I've always liked the Hobgoblin better.
I like the name better. I'm the Green Goblin. No, motherfucker, I'm the Hobgoblin.
Yeah. Well, the Hobgoblin was cool because he had a lot to prove.
Yeah, he had a lot to prove.
Yeah.
And there was like the whole mystery of who he was. They really played that up, and then I think totally dropped the ball with it because it was like
it's like all over the place.
Yeah, and they've gone back and forth on like, well, actually, it wasn't him. It was
this
him.
Person, this person manipulating this person when it was actually this person. Yeah.
I think they had the idea for the mystery, but really didn't have the reveal, and they just were like, oh shit, let's just keep this going because we have no idea.
Well, now he's known as it's Roderick Kingsley. That's who it supposedly is now. And then, last but not least, my alternate is Necron.
Ooh,
Lord of the Unliving. Yeah, he's pretty much the most gothic, like, cosmic being you'll ever see. Dude got, like, the freaking chain thing on his neck, and he has the sickle, and yeah, he looks pretty hardcore. Like, if I saw him in a nightclub, I'd probably be disturbed.
Oh, I've been there.
It's true. It's true. Very disturbing.
If you want to bring the pain and bring the madness, you go to Necron. You open up Necron's little portal and bring him out and bring the pain. Him and his Black Lanterns, it's over. It is over.
Yep. Dunzo.
I'm digging it. So that's your team of madness?
That's my team of madness, and now let us go to the Injustice team of sanity.
Injustice of sanity, yes.
Which is ironic.
Our teams parallel each other quite well, actually. It's interesting, yeah. I don't technically have a team leader because all of my characters are pretty much insane.
Well, because also you can't pick leaders with villains.
You can't. Right?
It's hard.
Although they tried. The Legion of Doom, Lex Luthor was kind of,
Yeah, but they're always just crotchety and
And I mean, like, if you think about it, like, Doc Ock, I guess, would have been the leader of the Sinister Six. And it's usually the smartest people are usually the leaders. I don't really have so much with that. I've got a lot of crazies. So I'm going to go, like, with my leader, I would probably say would be the Purple Man.
Nice.
You don't say.
He would be the closest thing because he could, if he's not getting them to do what he wants, he would just make them do what he wants. Most of them anyway. And we'll get to that in a moment. But I think the Purple Man with his mind control, he's a fairly typical superpower in comic books, but Purple Man makes it creepier levels than any other character before. First, a Daredevil villain, Purple Man's recent appearances have mostly been connected with Jessica Jones, the former superhero who became a private detective in the pages of Marvel's mature readers series, Alias. In that book, Purple Man was revealed to have controlled her over an uncomfortably long period of time, eventually sending her to kill Daredevil. A case of mistaken identity ended up leaving Jones in a coma and retired from superheroing. Except then, Purple Man couldn't leave well enough alone and went after Jones. We all hopefully probably saw Jessica Jones, the series. David Tennant so wonderfully, masterfully played the Purple Man. So I would put Purple Man as my leader.
And to me, such a brilliant
Jessica.
No, well, he did. The performance was great, and he made that show. But also, just from a writing standpoint and a directing standpoint, what an easy, cool power to be able to show without doing special effects.
Yeah,
because all he's got to do is like this shit of like
go stare at the wall.
Yeah, or like everybody point your guns at this guy, and then you have a whole room of cops pointing guns at somebody.
Yeah,
it's visually awesome and stunning,
right.
and cheap.
Yep.
Cheap to do.
Yep. It gets fun in the planning it out and the plotting of it. That's going to lead to my second character, the one that can't be controlled. That'd be the Joker.
Of course.
Oh no, that guy's really easy to touch.
Yeah, Joker has undergone many revisions since his 1940s debut. Most common interpretation of the character is that he is disguised as the criminal Red Hood and pursued by Batman. He then falls into a vat of chemicals which bleaches his skin, colors his hair green, his lips red, and drives him totally insane. The reason why the Joker was disguised as the Red Hood and his identity before his transformation has changed over time. The Joker's a walking agent of chaos. He plays by his own rules and refuses to acknowledge anything that's structured. In the comic books, his brutal and bizarre crimes, including shooting and paralyzing Batgirl, murdering Commissioner Gordon's wife in front of dozens of kidnapped infants, and beating second Robin, Jason Todd, to death with a crowbar, put him at the top of the list of insane.
Yeah.
Having the Joker on your team is not going to be easy. I think it would make it very interesting. And why would it be interesting? Probably because of the inclusion of my third character, Carnage.
Oh boy. Cletus Cassidy?
This is not sanity.
No. Cletus Cassidy. When the Venom symbiote returned to bond with an imprisoned Eddie Brock again, it unwillingly left behind an offspring. They produce asexually once per generation. The children are then of no consequence to the parent, thus the Venom symbiote felt no need to inform Brock of the existence of the new symbiote. This Venom offspring got into a cut on Brock's cellmate Cletus Cassidy's body. Cletus is an insane serial killer. They then bonded together and transformed him into Carnage, which caused the symbiote to turn red. He escaped prison and began a series of murders. At the scene of each crime, he wrote Carnage rules on the walls with his own blood. So Carnage, you guys know him.
He's a lunatic.
Most people know him.
Yeah.
He's insane.
A serial killer with a symbiote.
I think he's Marvel's answer to the Joker.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to him. He's a perfect storm of insanity. So I think it'd be very cool, just these three characters alone, Purple Man trying to juggle the Joker and Carnage, not being able to probably control either one of them, really. Go figure.
Good luck on that.
Yeah. And that's where we have another character that I think would be interesting to throw into this mix. Madcap.
We were just talking about Madcap today.
Character known as Madcap was once a normal guy. He did normal things. He had a normal job, normal friends, normal family. One day his parents and his sister Katie went on a trip organized by his church group, because that's normal. They were on a field trip to Bear Mountain when a tanker truck collided with him unexpectedly. He was thrown clear of the bus and landed in a chemical puddle consisting of compound X07, which apparently included enzymes to incite a rapid healing in human bodies. The accident killed all of the people in the bus except for the man who would become Madcap. The man laid unconscious for hours in a pool of X07, which would eventually evaporate. Madcap was taken to a hospital to recover, but when he discovered that all of the other 42 members on the bus, including his kid sister and parents, died that day, and that he was also the sole survivor, his faith in a rational universe collapsed. He ran away from the hospital and threw himself to a car threw himself into a car, basically, trying to commit suicide. Yeah. And to his surprise, he was unharmed and felt no pain at all. He correctly suspected that the accident had given him immunity to damage. This drove him completely mad, and he searched for a reason why he had benefited from the accident when everyone else had died. Finally, he decided that things happened without a reason and that nothing has a purpose. He soon discovered his other power, which allowed him to drive people crazy. He bought a bubble gun in a general store and stole a Harley Quinn costume. He called himself the Madcap and wandered through New York City driving people crazy. He had no compunction about putting people in danger, as he could not be hurt. He could not understand that other people could be hurt.
It's funny because I was literally just reading about him.
Mm-hmm.
He would be a perfect SmackDown Madcap versus the Creeper.
That's true.
Very similar kind of origin stories.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I'm, throwing Madcap in with the Joker and Carnage. He drives people insane. They're already insane.
Right.
He's not going to have an effect on them.
And he's unkillable.
Right.
So they can just shoot him in the face. And,
right. That's what they're going to keep doing.
Gouge him with their fucking symbiote.
Yeah. The only thing he could do is maybe drive the Purple Man insane.
Shoot bubbles at them.
Yeah. Shoot bubbles at them. So it'll be interesting to see somebody be so ineffectual in a group like that, but so effectual on everyone else.
What an origin too.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
Mad.
Yeah. Drive you mad. Yeah. So that leads to my other team member. I'm going to go with Dr. Light.
You mean the rapist?
Yes. The rapist. The rapist for 20. Trebek. Dr. Light, in Identity Crisis, his reputation was cemented as one of the most despicable villains in the history of superhero comics. He was revealed to have raped Sue Dibney, the civilian wife of the Elongated Man. That's fucked up.
Oh, it's reading it. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
This then changed the way Dr. Light was portrayed in subsequent appearances, from being a fairly lighthearted foil to a brutal sexual criminal and an insane person.
Yeah.
Eventually, God was coming to him in the form of judgment from the Spectre, who turned him into a candle and melted him to death. But that's Dr. Light. Dr. Light can control light matter, can turn it into constructs, energy constructs. Mm-hmm. He's a very cool villain. He's kind of insane, but he's also a pervert, obviously. Yeah. And I don't think that Cletus would appreciate that, to be honest. So I think Cletus, the Joker, Madcap, Purple Man, I think they'd all have a little fun with Dr. Light, although Dr. Light can defend himself. So again, more insanity taking place in this group.
I would have called this team the Injustice One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, he could have easily.
This is like a group of sadistic mental patients.
So that's going to lead me to my sixth member of the team. My sixth member is Eclipso.
Oh, boy.
It just keeps getting worse, guys. Eclipso originated as the embodiment of the wrath of God and the spirit of vengeance. During his tenure as the spirit of vengeance, he was responsible for the Great Flood. Eventually, he turned towards evil and was cast out of heaven. Having been cast out, he was sealed into a black diamond called the Heart of Darkness that could, through contact with the victim who was experiencing great anger, could take possession of the victim's body. Eclipso is not a nice man.
No.
He's pretty much a god who takes possession of people's bodies. Much like the Purple Man can control other people, Eclipso can as well. Mm-hmm. He can massively take control of a crowd, of a city, of a country. He has strength. Eclipso is somebody that you would definitely want on your side and not have to fight against. I think these guys will appreciate what he has to offer and would see a lot of fun benefit in what he can do. Right. If he could control Batman and Joker could shoot him in the head, he might enjoy that. I don't know.
Right.
You know,
in your SmackDown, he took on Ghost Rider and it didn't end well.
No, you're right. It did not. So it was. This is an interesting one. I had a lot of fun putting Eclipso in there, just thinking of what he could do, and that leads to my seventh member. My seventh member being Bullseye.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, how about that? Very little is known about Bullseye's past, actually. He claims to have grown up in the Bronx with a brother and abusive father. The only time they spent with one another as a family was when they would shoot air rifles together. Even at a young age, Bullseye had excellent accuracy. This was demonstrated when he killed a pigeon by throwing a yo-yo. Later, him and his brother, still at a young age, attempted to kill their father by setting the apartment on fire. As a result, the two were split up, placed in foster homes. While in high school, Bullseye became a talented pitcher and was offered a college scholarship.
Mhm.
He instead chose to join minor league baseball. With a perfect pitching record, it is possible that he was on his way to be a major league baseball player. Eventually, however, he became bored and killed a batter who mocked him.
Been there.
Yeah. This was a watershed moment for him, revealing the pleasure that killing brought him and turning him into the sadistic son of a bitch that we all know and love. Bullseye is one of the more sane members on the team. So this team is a little crazy. It's a little nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go any nuttier than my reserve member, the Psychopirate.
Oh, there we go.
But I added a little caveat to that. The Psychopirate controlled by Starro.
Starro?
Starro.
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 As in from the Rebel Starro?
Yeah, Starro.
So he's got a big star on his face?
He's going to have a big star under his mask. Definitely.
Oh, under the mask.
Under the mask. You're not going to know for a while,
You
and
know,
eventually it'll be
I like
revealed.
that guy. I enjoyed reading him.
Yeah, Starro. Yeah, Starro's a great character. And when they combined him to that alien lord that kind of then controlled Starro, that was really smart. That was Mr. Bedard that came up with that.
We love Tony Bedard. He's
Yes,
the man.
we do. You did a hell of a run there, sir. Once again, we'll give credit where credit is due. But I like the Psychopirate. I think he's pretty cool. Roger Hayden, he's a jail gangster. Later retconned into a young 20-year-old who was sentenced to a year in prison for attacking his emotionally abusive psychiatrist father. He was a cellmate to Halstead, and Earth 2, Halstead's dying wish was to have a legacy, prompts him to tell Hayden of a secret which he has divined in his jail cell, in his jail years. The existence of the Medusa masks.
Yeah.
These golden masks bestow upon the wearer the power to project emotions onto others. Hayden finds these masks, merges them into a single faceplate, and uses its powers to become a supervillain. It becomes increasingly apparent that he is addicted to absorbing others' emotions, though it causes him pain, possibly brought by the combination of all the masks into one. He is eventually imprisoned after battle with Dr. Fate and Hourman. By using the Medusa mask, the Psychopirate has the ability to control emotions. The mask is also able to bring him back to life. Its usage forces emotional vampirism upon him to fuel its powers. He now is dependent on others' emotions to feed himself. Summoning. This was a very short-lived ability that he had that was demonstrated in Animal Man number 23. Due to the fact that Psychopirate was the only one to remember the multiverse before the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, he was able to summon characters from all throughout the DCU continuity.
Jesus.
Example of these characters were Detective Chimp, Ultraman, and Power Ring.
Tough.
So he could summon them upon will.
That's pretty
He
badass.
could bring anyone in. And imagine, if you will, not only you have the Psychopirate, but you have Starro controlling him. Starro who can control everyone if he wanted to.
Right.
Might not be able to control the Joker. Might not be able to control Carnage. Might not be able to control Madcap. Might not be able to control the Purple Man. So many variations and differences you can play with this series, with these characters, that I think you'd have something really amazing if you had the right writer.
Right.
And that is why my guys, the Injustice of Sanity, will drive you batty. I got
That's
nothing else.
quite a
though.
crazy goddamn team.
Yeah.
Quite an explanation.
So that'll do it for us. Show us the regular love that you would show your mom and dad if you regularly love them.
Hugs and kisses, please.
Subscribe, spread the news of the righteousness of this podcast.
That's
Mhm.
right. iTunes, subscribe, rate, review it.
Make love while listening to our golden voices.
Sweet golden love.
Mm-hmm.
So stay gold with our Facebook, our Instagram, everything. And just enjoy the episodes. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll see you at the comic shop.
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.